Alright guys, what is going on? My name is Christian and welcome to another video. As always, before I get started, can we hit 100 likes? We have been smashing all the likes goals and we'll slowly start raising them. So hit that like button. It means so much to me and it doesn't take a lot of time. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. I absolutely love reading each and every one of your comments. So today's story is kind of just a life story that doesn't really have a crazy part to it. It's just kind of a funny story. I haven't done one of those in a while. And this one, we will have to go back to when I was about 9 years old, right? And when I was 9, I got my first ever iPod Touch. So before this, I had an iPod Classic, right, which was not as cool. It could just play music and movies, and that was about it. And then this iPod Touch came out, and it could play movies, it could play music, it could play games, it could do anything. The only thing it couldn't do is massage your balls and tickle your nipples. That's about it. So anyway, yeah, I ended up getting this iPod Touch 2, and my grandparents ended up paying for it for me, and we got like a $50 warranty, and when I had it, I was like the coolest kid in school, right? So I was in elementary at the time, and none other kids had this iPod Touch 2. I know that was terrible grammar, but let me be. So I'd bring this iPod Touch 2 to school every single day, and I'd go to the lunch table, and everyone would be like, yo, let me play it, like, dude, this is so cool. And I don't know, I just felt like such a badass for having this, and I literally played it like all the time. In fact, I had like this app where you got to like fish, and like you would flick, and it would actually flick the line and everything, and it was kind of cool because it had, the gyroscope inside, which was just the coolest, newest technology ever. And I loved it. I played it everything on it. So anyway, I ended up getting this, and about a week later, I was taking a poop with it, right? So my grandparents were still here because they were the ones that bought it for me, right? They came out, went to the store, and bought it for me. And, in that week, I had taken it to school, let all my friends see it, even though they told me not to. But one day, I just took a crap with it, right? And I was playing this ball in a maze game. And so I would kind of like roll it around. And then when you needed to get over a wall, you would like flick it up, right? So a wall was coming, and I flicked my iPod Touch in the air, and it goes up in the air, and sure enough, it plops right between my legs into the toilet in my poop water, right? So it just lands right in that poop water. So I'm having a freaking brain aneurysm, right? Like I'm freaking out, and I get up, I don't even wipe my ass, right? I just get up, I look, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get it out of there. So I reach in between my two poops, pull it out, and then I take it over to the sink and wipe it off with a rag, and I'm like, oh my God, and I start crying, and my grandparents were in the living room, and they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I dropped my iPod in the toilet, and they're like, what? Are you serious? They got out some rice, right? And then they put the iPod inside of the rice, which if you don't know, rice sucks up water, and that's kind of the purpose of that. And they thought I was taking a pee when I dropped it, right? So they thought it was just pee water, and they put it in there, and they sealed it up, and they're like, all right, you know what? Stop crying. We will go to Best Buy tomorrow, because it was like a Sunday, and Best Buy was like closed at that point. I don't even remember, but they just said, we'll go tomorrow. And so we put it in a bag, and we ended up going to the Best Buy store, and this is after both of my grandparents have handled it, right? And then we get there, the iPod Touch is in a bag with the rice, and then we take it up to the thing, and we're like, all right, we need to get another iPod Touch because this one was dropped, and we need a new one. That was basically it. It had water damage. We dropped it in the lake, and she was like, sorry, we don't cover water damage. Meanwhile, she's like handling this iPod Touch, right? This poop water covered iPod Touch. She's just handling it, and she's, kind of looking at it, holding it close to her face. And I'm just sitting there with like the biggest grin on my face because like this poop water iPod Touch is just being handled by this lady, and she has no idea. I mean, it literally landed right in those poops. It touched some poop. And so she's just handling it, and not to mention this is toilet water, there's urine in there, there's poop in there, and she's just handling it, and she puts it back in the bag, and she's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. And you know what, my grandma's someone that doesn't take no for an answer. So she's like, I will see your manager right now then. And she's like, okay, ma'am, I'll go get the manager. And then the manager comes over and he starts handling it, right? And, you know, my grandparents just think it was in pee water, but you got to remember this was in poop water. And they're handling it, probably going to eat their lunch right after, you know, some little stanky hands. And I'm not talking about, you know, stanky hands you get after fingering a girl, but like stanky hands you get after like fingering an iPod Touch that fell in poop water. And so, I don't know, I'm just like chuckling like a sailor, like laughing my ass off while they're handling it. And he ends up putting it back in the bag and he's like, all right, ma'am, listen, we will get you another one, but just realize that with this warranty, it doesn't cover water damage. But he ended up putting it in the back and they sent it in for refurbishing. And at no point does this iPod Touch get clean. Like, so many people handle this iPod Touch that fell in my poop water. And I just think that is the funniest thing on the planet. But he ended up getting one off the stand and giving it to me. And she was like, we'd like to buy another warranty. And he was like, oh, okay. So they signed me up for another warranty. And I got to take it home. And I never dropped my phone in poop water again. Let me just say that. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this story, please hit the like button, leave a comment in the comment section below, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content. I love you guys so much. Please have an awesome day. I will see you tomorrow, and peace.